Lloyd from the Daily Herald, Cougarblue.com, HeraldExtra.com, you know all that stuff. Jared, 76-66 win for BYU to finish up the regular season against Portland. Let's start with the seniors that you're going to focus on. Noah Hartsock doesn't play, but Charles Abuo does. Has a pretty good game with 16 points. And how do you sum up these two guys in their final game possibly here at the Marriott Center?
You know, it's tough to do, and I think even Dave Rose had a tough time doing that in the post-game interviews. And, you know, very emotional before the game. You get to this type of a game, final home game for two seniors that have been a big part of the program for 4 years. I mean, these weren't two-year guys. These guys have been around and played pretty big roles all 4 years. And so a tough night emotionally to just deal with that type of emotion. I thought it showed on the court at times. BYU seemed a little bit distracted. Charles came out and was a little too over-energetic and, you know, missed some shots early, kind of settled down into the game. But these two players, Abuo and Hartsock, have not been the superstars that Jimmer Fredette and Jackson Emery were last year, but they have been solid, consistent, regular performers for a very long time. And BYU fans recognize that, and the program's going to miss them now that they're coming to the close of their BYU careers.
Yeah, it's close to a sellout crowd here at the Marriott Center on Saturday afternoon. They called it a sellout, but Jared, we know there are a few empty seats, but still not the most amazing game for either team. BYU led by as many as 17 early in the second half. Portland whittled it back down to 6, and then Charles Abuo kind of summed up his career, steal near midcourt, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, 45 seconds left, ran it in, a little left-handed underhand flip, and there go the Cougars. So they improved to 24-7, 12-4 in league. They're going to be locked into that number 3 seed. We'll find out later tonight who the number 6 seed is for that tournament. But BYU led by Brandon Davies, 25 points against an undersized Pilots team. Abuo at 16. Brock Zylstra shooting well with 20 points, 6 of 12, 4 of 8 from three-point range. And what do you expect to see out of this team from BYU as they go down for a Friday night game? They're looking to play 3 games in 4 days right now.
Well, and that's important for them, and it's not a bad thing to have this type of experience in the tournament. This is pretty standard to play. Usually it was 3-3 when they were in the Mountain West, so 3-4 might even be slightly easier than what it used to be. But I really thought Brock Zylstra, like you mentioned, was a very, very big positive for BYU tonight. He finally got that stroke kind of going a little bit more confident. He went to the basket. He didn't just settle for jump shots. And BYU needs him to be able to do something. Charles Abuo, Noah Hartsock, if he gets back, they're steady. They know what you're pretty much going to get from those guys. Brandon Davies and Brock Zylstra are 2 guys that BYU needs to have be very successful when they're down at the tournament in Las Vegas this next weekend. If those 2 guys play well, I like BYU's chances. You know, Matt Carlino and Craig Cusick and some of the bench guys are also, you know, they're going to play big roles, but I think Brock is really kind of a catalyst. BYU plays their best basketball when Brock's playing well.
Yeah, so BYU will go down to Orleans Arena. They're not on the Thomas and Mack. They're not at UNLV's home floor anymore, but they're at Orleans Arena where they've played a couple times in the last few years. Has had a lot of success. So we'll find out in the next few days about Noah Hartsock and that MCL sprain. He probably won't practice for a couple days early next week, but they're hoping to get him in Friday. So again, Jared Lloyd, Jason Franchuk, Richard Teasdale on the camera. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for a wonderful season. We'll see you down in Las Vegas. Bring it on, Rich.